Hello, everyone. We are catching up with Juliana Lemure, Jen's deputy editor, who's been spending this week in San Antonio, Texas, at the Agbt Ag conference, which is wrapping up this afternoon. So we thought before she dashes for the airport, we'd check in with her one more time. Hello, Juliana.
Hi, Kevin.
How is it going? What's stood out for you as the meeting comes to an end?
Yep, the meeting's wrapping up. Just a couple more talks in the afternoon. And as you said, I'm heading out this evening. Although I'm sure that the farewell dinner is going to be just lovely and fabulous, but I've just got to get home, unfortunately. But yeah, so I think I'm it's all just so much information is like just bottled up in my head at the moment, Kevin, and I can't wait to get home and kind of parse it all out. But there's just been so many amazing talks, and I came here to really try to understand how the genomics technologies that Jen is covering every day, basically, but more in the human health space, how they're being applied here in the ag industry. And I have gotten a glimpse of that for sure. I mean, whether it is long read sequencing, as we talked about yesterday, to do, to build T to T reference genomes, some of these plants for the very first time, or also using, there's a whole other aspect of the sequencing that is very quick, low pass, short read sequencing, where they can do. One talk yesterday was they did that kind of sequencing on 1 million pigs. So just huge scales of animals, whether it's animals or plants, we're talking huge numbers, and they're looking for a certain number of SNPs, and they're doing that to say, these are the pigs that we want to keep. These are, not as good breeders. And so they're parsing out their pigs and trying to make the whole system a lot more efficient. So lots of different sequencing going on and being applied.
So interesting meeting in that you clearly have a lot of plant talks and then a lot of animal talks. Are they do you feel like there's a good kind of camaraderie and a good cohesion between these two? They could easily be separate events, separate conferences.
I think so. Yeah. I think that the people here are really used to that, actually, and they just kind of go from one to the other.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
for myself, who this is my first ag meeting, I'm like, oh, right. Okay. We're in plants now. Now we're in animals. But, obviously there is a lot of overlap, but I have heard a couple of times like, oh, the plant people and the animal people. So I guess they're also in their own camps. Yeah.
So on the livestock side, Juliana, were any particular highlights you want to talk about?
Yeah, sure. So yesterday we heard a talk from Allison Van Eenenum, and she is using genome editing in cattle embryos, germline editing. And actually what she really walked us through were the variations in the progeny that she sees. And so, actually really interestingly, in addition to getting the effect that she wants with the editing, they also see these large deletions that are, she says, not off target because they're near the desired edit, but they're not actually what they put in there. They're just these kind of large deletions that happen. And she says that actually they see this also in human editing as well. So that was really, really interesting. And she showed some some videos that were how they do it. So we got a very good sense of like they have to put the sheep under anesthetic, and it's like surgery, actually.
So there's been some talk of gene editing, but I think that's the first time you've mentioned it. It sounds like still the main emphasis is about sequencing and reading DNA. Do you think, particularly as editing becomes potentially a bigger deal in the plant world, as we engineer new drought, pest-resistant crops, do you think we'll see more of that as this important meeting evolves in the future?
Yeah, that's a really interesting point, Kevin. So the type of, I have not heard a lot of gene editing here.
Yeah.
And what I do hear a ton of is more, trying to identify the SNPs or the genes that are important in the traits that these breeders want, whether it's plants or animals, and then understanding which animals have those, and then selecting that way. So it's much more about that, using genomics in that way, than actual genome editing. And I'm not sure if that's just that it's not going on that much in this industry, or if it's just not really here at this meeting, but I have not heard a lot of genome editing.
Yeah. Well, we'll watch that space.
Oh, I will say, actually, Pairwise was here. They gave a talk yesterday, and they did talk about their genome editing of their collard greens,
which is for commercial release, right? This is heading to an organic or wholesome grocery store, I believe. That's the plan, anyway.
Yeah, I think he said later this year. With the date was not really said, but I think later this year.
Any other highlights, Juliana, you want to address?
Yeah, well, I think that actually the thing that I'm walking away with most out of this meeting is how important what is going on here is to all of us. So, the very first talk on the very first day was given by a woman, Lindue Magele Sibanda, who's the chair of the CGIAR, which is this global network of research going on. I mean, I really have learned so much. I didn't even know that this existed, funded by the World Bank and other governments. And what she said, and she kind of challenged everyone in the room as the, top ag genomicists in the world. She said, if we don't succeed on solving the food crisis that's going on, we don't succeed anywhere. She was saying it's kind of above drugs and other, I mean, of course, there's other huge things like the climate crisis and things like that. But she said, like, we have to focus on that. And I think that that's what's a lot, that sentiment is going on in this room and in these talks. And everybody is trying to make, dairy cows that produce milk more, or, choose dairy cows that are more efficient at producing milk, grow plants on smaller amounts of land. I mean, it's all about more food, less damage to the environment and the earth, and how important that message is for everyone.
Very good.
And how much I didn't appreciate it,
So it sounds like it's been a really stimulating few days. This is the second Agbt Ag conference. Where does the meeting go from here?
Yep. The meeting next year, they said, is going to be around the same time in April, because actually they have to work with the farmers' schedules. I guess farmers are very busy breeding at certain times of the year and very busy planting at certain times of year. So April seems to work for everyone. And it's going to be in Arizona.
And you'll be there.
Yeah. So that's terrific. I mean, I hope so. I'd love to come back.
Yeah.
And lastly, I just want to thank, the organizers for reaching out to me and having me here, because it's been really, really terrific. And I mean, it's been such an amazing, as we said yesterday, it has all the hallmarks of a terrific Agbt meeting, such amazing science. I have so much work to do and so many people to follow up with when I get home.
Yeah.
But I just want to thank them all for a terrific meeting.
Yeah.
And I was going to say, you can tell it's not Agbert's first rodeo. Sorry.
Very good. Well, I'm sure this is an area, Juliana, led by yourself, that we'll be covering a lot more in GEN, and also in GEN Biotechnology, the peer-reviewed spin-off of GEN, where certainly Alison Van Eenum, who we mentioned a few minutes ago, is also already, well, she wasn't on the cover, but some of her gene-edited livestock were. And she has another paper in press with us. So, and we hope that'll be the first of many. So anyway, Juliana, great to see you. Safe travels. And we'll check in with you soon from another exotic location at another intense science conference. Can't wait.
All right, Kevin, thank you so much. I'll see you back at the office tomorrow.
Bye-bye.
Bye.